I'll be honest, after working every day the past 3 days, I know it's not much, but for me it's different, obviously. I'm kind of used to having a lot of days off and not as many work days. This week is the polar opposite, so it's thrown me off in every single way possible. So, in that case, it's kind of like, this is my day to relax. And, I really didn't do much with today. I just got finished watching Raw. It's 3:30, and I should have been playing video games by now, but no, I kind of procrastinated, and had lunch, and now here I am. So another thing that kind of threw some plans off as well is, like I told you guys on yesterday's NXT and SmackDown video, that unfortunately AJ actually has to go out of town for the next several days. He actually left a couple hours ago, so he's going to be gone. So you're asking yourself, what does this mean for this weekend? Well, I'm about to tell you what this means for this weekend. I don't know what my work schedule is yet. I'll get that tomorrow. I go in at 2 o'clock. Very odd hours, I'm aware. And Thursday, we're going out of town. I don't know where it's going to be, Columbus, Charleston, or Pittsburgh. One of the three. Either way, so I can get some new shoes, because obviously my shoes are kind of shot right now. Now, I do want to throw out that this is pretty much, unless something changes, how the rest of the week is going to go. So today is this Raw recap. Tomorrow, I'm finally going to talk about last week's Impact, which I was not able to watch yet. I will watch that tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow morning before I go to work or tomorrow night when I get back from work. It just kind of depends. If it's tomorrow night when I get back from work, check for that video to be up probably really late, to be truthful. So, because it's taken forever to be able to upload now. So, since I've started using the iPhone to film again, it takes forever to upload. But there's a quick way to do it that's not as taxing and time consuming. But I haven't found that way yet. There has to be a way. But unfortunately, there's not as of this moment. So what I do, I upload directly from the iPhone to the desktop, and the desktop directly to YouTube. It takes like 3 or 4 hours to upload an hour-long video. That's just how it works, I guess, with uploading. And the YouTube Capture app, it totally sucks. So I'm not going to use that one. So this would lead us into Thursday. And like I said, Thursday will be Impact. I'm actually going to be able to do an Impact video live. I'm not gonna do it like a hangout or anything like that, but I mean, I will be able to do an Impact video for Thursday night, which means that Friday, which normally is AJ's movie reviews, Friday is probably going to be Bill and Ted's audio from Halloween Horror Nights this year. Saturday, I'm going to do NXT and SmackDown, and then on Sunday, AJ will be returning. So, I'm probably going to be doing a Halloween Horror Nights 24 speculation video. Now, Friday and Sunday may switch places. It kind of depends. Don't know what my work schedule is going to be. Hopefully I don't have to work on Sunday, but in an event that I do, it's going to be a really long day because I got to work. And then when AJ gets back on Sunday, we're going to be watching About Time and Thor. So, check those out. And then the reviews for that will either be posted really late on Sunday or Monday at the latest. So yeah, we'll definitely have them up on Monday. That will be along with the brand new verses, which unfortunately will not go up on Sunday. It'll probably go up either on Monday or Tuesday. And the cryptic comment this time around is Ghost. So we're going to check that one out as well. So, like I said, things are kind of wishy-washy right now. Things are a little bit, thrown off with the way the schedule's been, and AJ, abruptly going out of town. It's just kind of like everything's kind of thrown off a bit. But it's okay, I know how to adapt. And you guys know just as well as I do that when it comes down to it, I can always shoot you guys out videos just like this one. And it's not going to be just a bunch of randomness. It's going to be important stuff that we discuss every week on this channel. Oh yeah, I'm going to ask this on Twitter. I'm going to ask this on my Facebook. I'm going to ask this as well. I'm thinking about, in 2014, doing a weekly podcast. Now, obviously, it'd be on YouTube, and I would just talk about whatever I wanted to for an hour. Now, I know what you're asking. Oh, and you do this all the time. And I'm like, well, that's true, but I was thinking about maybe, doing a podcast, talking about wrestling and Disney and Universal and all points in between. So, I may end up looking into that in 2014. I haven't quite decided yet. Versus is going to be big this week. And next week as well, and we're going to finish it off with a big versus on the final Sunday of the month. So we've also got the WDW Today Live podcast on the same day as Survivor Series. So I will be doing the live podcast. I'll recap Survivor Series that next Monday. And it's official, my mom is going back out of town on the 23rd of November, which means she'll be gone for 2 weeks. She'll return on the 7th. I'll already be home by then, so I'll see her when I get back. Which means my stepmom's going to be taking me to the airport, which I'm sure she's extremely excited about. But there's always that. And I finished WWE 12, and a fun game, actually, really enjoyable game. If I want to pick it back up later, I might have to do the hero storyline. I did the villain and the outsider storyline. I need to do the hero storyline, and I'll be completely finished. But my Jacob Cass character does not look like I want him to, so I may have to change that around. I haven't quite decided yet. But as I showed you guys on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter at @SirOwenDisney, I got this now. Yes, the special Daniel Bryan cover of the game. And that means as soon as I get this video done, I can start playing WWE 2K14, and I cannot wait to get into the 30 years of WrestleMania and to try to beat the streak. But unfortunately, I cannot try to beat the streak until December because I'm going to use Fandango to beat The Undertaker. That's how I work. That's how my mind works. I could use Wade Barrett or Antonio Cesaro in the meantime, and I probably will. But when it comes down to it, I want Fandango to beat the streak. It's something that would never happen, ever. So there you go. So we're going to talk Raw from last night. I will say right now that I'm more excited about the video game I'm about to start playing than the program right now. Now, I like this storyline that is developing between Daniel Bryan and CM Punk against the Wyatt family. I don't have a problem with that. They need another person, obviously, in the group. And I know a lot of people say that the Wyatts have declared war on Ring of Honor. People need to remember, Luke Harper, you guys know him also as Big Rig Brody Lee from Ring of Honor. So yeah, your statement debunked. So there you go. So speaking of Harper, actually, and Punk, mind you, we're actually going to start off Raw with just that. It opened the show on Raw last night, CM Punk against Luke Harper. This match was really good. Basically, it was just a nice back-and-forth match. Really got Luke Harper over a bit. Punk sold for him really well, and obviously the finish led to more shenanigans, which of course is going to lead to this feud starting between Punk and Bryan against the Wyatts. So we'll see what happens with that. But let's talk about the match, shall we? So Harper locked in a chin lock, like a modified rear chin lock, and Punk elbows his way out. So he charges in with a big clothesline against the ropes, does Harper, and grabs Punk and does the slingshot to the middle rope. Drops the big elbow, makes a cover, 1 count only. Punk kicks away. So he goes for a deep cover after dropping the elbow yet again, and still only gets a 1 count. He does the gator roll, turns it into what might as well be either a side chin lock or kind of like a side headlock crossface. And Punk forearms his way out, and he gets pushed into the ropes. He charges in, and Punk puts the boot up, so he charges into the boot of Punk. He charges in, Punk puts up the back elbow once again, gets to the middle rope, and nails Harper with the tornado DDT out of the corner. So when they get back to their feet, they trade forearms, and Punk plants him with a spinning back kick to the ribs. So he ducks the clothesline, Punk nails the high leg lariat, and then an elbow. Into the spinning neck breaker on Luke Harper, and when Harper gets up, he charges in with a running knee in the corner, short arm clothesline, and he goes up top for the Savage Elbow, but he changes his momentum, and he dives off the top rope onto Eric Rowan on the floor. So to stop him from interfering. So he gets back on the apron, high kick to Harper, gets back in the ring with the springboard, caught with a big boot from Luke Harper. Harper goes for the discus clothesline. Punk rolls him up 1, 2, and 3. So great match between CM Punk and Luke Harper. But of course, shenanigans after the match as usual. Rowan gets on the ring for the attack, and they do a 2-on-1 on Punk. They beat him down. Bray gets out of the rocking chair and steps into the ring, basically calls for the sacrifice of CM Punk. And Ponytail Daniel Bryan hits the ring with his arm still bandaged up from last week's brutal attack. And basically he makes the save with a steel chair. He nails Rowan in the back of the kneecap. So he knocks him off the apron, gets in the ring, and he nails a rib shot with the chair on Harper. Bray catches him with a shot to the shoulder, and before he's able to do any more damage to Bryan, Punk tries to take his head off with the chair. Bray powders to the floor. Punk swings the chair. This time, nails Harper in the back, and Bryan with a baseball slide drop kick sends Rowan to the floor. So that is our opening segment on Raw from last night. Again, I don't have a problem with the storyline, and I do have a problem, obviously, with Bryan being taken out of the WWE title picture, but obviously, if everyone is going to be correct with what we're hearing, hopefully Bryan will end up winning the Royal Rumble, and that'll get him back into contention, and we don't get Cena and Orton in a title unification match at WrestleMania. I pretty much want to see that about as much as I want to see a dentist. So, and I don't mean Isaac Yankem, DDS. We'll talk about him later on in the show. So, Paul Heyman is on the phone, and he is basically in Europe right now, seeking alternative medical treatment for pretty much all the myriad of injuries that CM Punk dealt out to him on Hell in a Cell, literally on the Hell in a Cell. The repeated cane shots, the go to sleep. Heyman pretty much started to cry, and he hung up. So there's more to meets the eye with all this. Have we seen the last of Punk and Heyman? We thought so, but maybe not. Maybe there's more to be said after the fact. So we get a match that I don't want to see this match. Another match between Ryback and Great Khali. One guy who's basically at the tail end of a push that will never go anywhere again, and the only thing left for him to do is to face Goldberg and the Great Khali. So, Khali with the overhand chops about 7,000 times. And then Ryback catches him, goes for the shell shock. That's not going to happen. So he rains down the elbows as much as he can, that is, and he clotheslines him in the corner. Charges in, Khali gets the elbow up. He charges in again. Khali ends up getting the boot up. So, clothesline on Ryback. He goes for the brain chop. Ryback ducks, nails it with the meat hook off the ropes. 1, 2, 3. So, I didn't talk about the Oddities 2K13 at ringside, because obviously I hate Hornswoggle and I don't want to bring him up. But Santino was at ringside for this match as well, and Santino's purpose was basically to get tossed into the barricade. So he gets thrown in the barricade by Ryback, and Ryback still rules, even though his push is dead. So yeah, just a match that shouldn't even have been on the show. I'm all for squash matches, but seriously, 2014, just keep Great Khali off television. I said months ago, and I've probably said it even more recent than that I really wish Khali would just get injured. Not legitimately injured, obviously, but get injured to the point that he's off television for good. I don't want to see him on television ever again. There's not really a place for Great Khali in the WWE of today. There was at one point. He's been a world champion. He's had the feud with The Undertaker. I mean, he's been the dancing fool with Ranjin Singh. I mean, he's done everything he needs to do, so Khali's done. I don't even care about him as a comedy act. Santino does it so much better, and I'm glad Santino is even involved in that, because you can actually do something with Santino. Again, fire Hornswoggle. If anything, make him not an in-ring competitor anymore. Like, I can't say make him a road agent. I don't really know what his mental acumen when it comes to the wrestling business is. But I want to keep him around fine, but I don't want to see him get any shine. Kind of like how he beat Chavo Guerrero handily on SmackDown back in the day numerous times. So yeah, that never should have happened. And I'm okay with like the tadpole splash every once in a while, but yeah, there's no reason for him to be on television every week. So yeah, Ryback's career's done. The only thing he's got left is Goldberg at WrestleMania, and Goldberg will beat him. And I don't know if that means Goldberg's going to get a short-term contract with WWE, kind of like how Goldust has got one right now. But Goldust is having some of the best matches of his career right now, and I think Goldberg would have an interesting little run in WWE in 2014. So we'll see what happens with that, if the rumors are true, and I'm sure they are. Next match, former World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio taking on Kofi Kingston. We've seen this match so many times. It's very back and forth, very formulaic, like normal. Kofi, before I started calling the match, Kofi nails Delirious' Shadows Over Hell on ADR, which is basically leaps off the top and splashes the lower back while he's like doubled over. So, of course, we go into the match, and Kofi nails a double springboard into a flying body press, 1-2, and Del Rio kicks out. So, here comes the finishing sequence. He ducks the clothesline, double chop, and then the double chop, and then the standing drop kick, and he comes off the ropes, goes for the leaping clothesline. Del Rio ducks out of the way, hits a side kick to the ribs, and Kofi rolls him up in a very unorthodox style, 1-2. Del Rio kicks out. He goes for SOS, countered into the cross arm breaker, and that's the match. So, here we go. Okay, match for what it was. I will say, big time blown spot in this match. Beginning of the match, actually, Del Rio gets sent to the floor, and Kofi's trying to nail Del Rio with a tope con hilo. Well, his leaping ability is extraordinary because he completely overshoots when he basically glances over the top of the head of Del Rio. I'll give props to JBL for calling that, saying he barely got him, but still, it just didn't work. Kind of like Shawn Michaels' Sweet Chin Music on Daniel Bryan at Hell in a Cell. So, on the WWE app, which I have not mentioned on this video yet, because it wasn't time, there was to be a vote to determine who was going to be facing Randy Orton later in the evening. It's either going to be Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, or Biggie Langston. Well, Biggie Langston wins rather handily, but of course we find that out in a minute. So Randy Orton comes out, he pulls the Rick Rude shtick. He basically says, in other words, every woman wants him and all men want to be him. Everybody's just jealous of him. And I actually wrote on here, on this notes, I think it's funny to me, it says, Orton comes out, all women want him, men want to be him. And I pulled a Dolph Ziggler and said, whatevs. So yeah, obviously I don't like Randy Orton. I've got my reasons. Biggie Langston wins this by I think it was 70, 75%, something like that. So that was the end of it right there. And as 12 and 13, I believe, with the other, with The Miz dead last. I think that's what it was. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was The Miz was dead last because Dolph was, I think, second. So we get a match between Randy Orton and Biggie Langston. This match was actually pretty good. It wasn't a squash, and it wasn't one-sided. Biggie actually got a lot of shine in this match, and I was really happy with it. So let's go to this match, shall we? So Langston ends up going for a 10-punch on Orton, and then he whips him into a short-arm clothesline. Orton goes to the floor to try to regroup a little bit, so Biggie ends up following him out, and he gets pulled face first into the ring apron for his troubles. Orton tosses him back in, and he stands on the ring apron. He nails Orton with a gut shot, and he goes for the charging shoulder, and Orton's out of the way. The Miz sends him through the middle rope to the floor, so basically Orton gets out of the ring, nails him with a stiff clothesline, tosses him back in, makes a cover, 1-2, Langston kicks out. So he locks on a chin lock on Biggie Langston. Randy Orton and chin locks, that's a shock. So Biggie picks him up on his back, and the piggyback sends him back into the turnbuckle. So he goes for the charging shoulder on Orton. This time it connects. Clothesline, he ducks the clothesline, and belly-to-belly suplex from Biggie Langston. So he comes off the ropes with the Ultimate Warrior-style big splash. 1, 2, and at 3, Orton kicks out. Really nice near-fall sequence right there. So Orton kicks him in the knee to stop the momentum. Nails the 3.0 backbreaker. Makes a cover, 1, 2. Again, Biggie kicks out. So he tosses him shoulder first in the ring post, just like I've done so many times, WWE 12. And he goes for the snake bite DDT. He plants Biggie with the snake bite very gradually. Goes for the RKO after he pounds the mat like a moron, and they toss him into the corner. Vader attack from Biggie Langston. He drops the straps, singling for the end. He picks him up for the big ending. Orton slithers his way down the back of Langston, nails him with the RKO, and 1, 2, 3. Clean win for the WWE Champion. So this match was really good. Furthermore, telling that Biggie Langston is going to be a superstar in WWE, and I don't mean just a WWE superstar. I mean he's going to be a made WWE superstar, someone they're going to invest a lot into over the years. Now, when the internet found out that John Cena stamped his stamp of approval on Biggie Langston, pretty much you might as well just put the rocket on his back right there. And in the long run, he's going to have a really nice run as an upper mid-card into main event babyface. And I'll say right now that Biggie Langston may end up taking Mark Henry's spot as the first African-American WWE champion. Which sucks for Mark Henry, but, I mean, it's going to happen. There's going to be a black WWE champion somewhere down the road. Obviously, Ron Simmons is the first black world heavyweight champion because he beat Vader back in 1992, and he was the first world champion. And then you could like talk about The Rock, you could talk about Yokozuna, they being partially African American, but when it comes down to it, you can't really say that. You can have somebody that's non-Caucasian as a world champion. It's just a full non-Caucasian world heavyweight champion has not happened since Ron Simmons. And since Ron Simmons won the WCW belt, it's kind of glossed over in history. So the first black WWE champion may end up being Biggie Langston, which is interesting because I probably would have scoffed that many, many months ago, but Biggie Langston, slowly but surely, has grown on me every single week. So yeah, his NXT stuff is really good. So if you have a chance to check out any of his NXT stuff, like on YouTube, or Daily Motion, or Justin TV, or anything like that, check it out. It's actually really good. He did earn his first NXT championship. He was the first ever NXT champion, and he very much deserved it. I like the 5-count gimmick. I mean, stole it from Bundy, but still works really well. So, this is our next match, and this is a match that I called weeks ago, so you're welcome. And I said that Tyson Kidd needs to return to WWE, get Natty away from the oddities, and team with Natty and face off with Fandango and Summer Rae. Be careful what I wish for, because I did get it, and I'm very happy with that. Tyson Kidd makes his in-ring return to WWE active competition on television, teaming with his wife, Natalya, taking on Fandango and the gorgeous Summer Rae. So yeah, this match was really, it wasn't bad. It was a high-paced, fast-paced matchup. Johnny Curtis can go, for those of you that don't realize this. And this was actually the perfect person to work him against. Now, I know what you're saying. The only reason they did this match was because of putting over Total Divas, which is coming back to the E! Network, 10 o'clock Sunday, this coming Sunday. Yeah, I don't care, because it gets Tyson Kidd back on television, and that is a good thing. So yeah, this match actually wasn't bad at all, and Summer Rae ends up hitting a front Russian leg sweep on Natty, 1-2, and a kick out, locks in a body scissors. Natty turns her around, picks her up with a counter into a sunset flip by Summer Rae, 1-2, and a kick out. Both divas have the same idea and go down courtesy of the double clothesline. Tag in, and that means both men are now fresh. So a high kick by Tyson on Fandango, springboard into a missile drop kick, nails him with a spinning heel kick, whip in, reverse, charges in, he gets the boot up, and Fandango ends up kicking him in the apron. Excuse me. He goes to the floor, and Fandango is standing on the floor. Tyson charges off the ring apron and kicks Fandango right in the face. There we go. Summer the distraction, and this causes a really awesome spot of Fandango to pull the ring apron, which allows Tyson Kidd to land back first on the ring apron. So he tosses him back in, he goes up top for the perfect 10, and when he dives off, Tyson gets up, turns into the sharpshooter, and there's the tap out as Natty tosses Summer Rae to the floor, and that's the match. So, short match, fast-paced, though, for what it was, and we have not seen the last of this feud in WWE, and I'll say right now, I think Tyson Kidd and Fandango are going to have a nice little feud in WWE, and that is a good thing. So, again, props to them actually using Summer Rae and Natty the right way this week. Summer Rae should have been involved in the 6-Diva tag match last week, and with her being in this match this week, I am not as so hard on WWE for not putting her in the 6-Diva tag match later on in the show. Here's our match. That was the main event of the first hour. Rematch from SmackDown that I really enjoyed calling. I really enjoyed calling them again this week. So, Damian Sandow and Zeb's Militia, the Real Americans, Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter in their corner, taking on the World Heavyweight Champion John Cena and the current reigning and defending WWE Tag Team Champions Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Rhodes Warriors. So, this match was really, really good. These 6-man tag matches have been awesome. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen Dustin so motivated to wrestle in his life. I mean, these are marquee matches. I really hope he keeps his job for a long time. I know everybody's saying this is just a short run, and he'll probably be back on the indie sooner rather than later. Maybe so, but do what you can with this. And I'm telling you right now, Goldust in 2013 works. It really does. I mean, he's adapted to the point that the gimmick actually gets over really well. And the team with Cody is awesome to the point that we know it's going to end up them turning on each other and them doing the brother versus brother match finally at WrestleMania 30. And again, that's a good thing. So Cena comes off the ropes midway through the match. Cesaro launches him up in the air. Bam! Swiss Death. 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So he goes for a cover again to try to pin Cena one more time. 1-2, Cena kicks out. Tagging to Swagger. So they nail a double suplex. 1-2, and Cena kicks out. So a charge in, and Swagger goes for the Swagger Bomb. Connects on Cena. Hooks the leg. 1-2, and a kick out. Tagging to Sandow. So Sandow with a headbutt. Ducks the right hand, does Cena, and plants Sandow with a half Nelson reverse neck breaker, which really looked awesome, by the way. So Sandow tags out to Swagger, and Swagger cuts off Cena, and 6 knees, stiff knees in the corner. So he goes for the charging knee in the corner on Cena, and he locks in a front face lock. Cena picks him up and just like deposits him over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. Swagger lands on the canvas, picks the ankle, and locks on the Patriot Lock momentarily. This gets broken up, and eventually there is a clothesline, tag into Cesaro. Cesaro makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So 2 Swiss uppercuts. He goes for a third. It gets countered into a Hurricane Rana from John Cena. Yes, you heard me correct. So Sandow gets tagged in. Cesaro grabs the foot to cut off Cena, and Sandow ends up slamming the arm, the formerly injured arm of Cena, into the canvas on 2 separate occasions. Leaping leg drop on the arm, makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. Locks on a version of the key lock, and Cena turns it into the AA, gets countered, slipped down the back into the Sandow driver, and there's the clothesline. He charges in, and he goes, this is going to take a bit to explain. So what he does, he charges in, Cena looks like he's going for a crucifix. He floats over, lands in a pile driver position, and he proceeds to pick up into a Canadian backbreaker and lay out to the side with it. Looked awesome, by the way. Hot tag to Goldust. Goldust ended up seeing Cesaro get tagged in, so ducks Cesaro's clothesline. He comes off the ropes, clothesline, and whip in reverse and drop down uppercut. So the inverted atomic drop kicks Cesaro in the side of the head, and then the 10 punch in the corner. Stopped at 6 because Swagger was up on the apron, so he dives off and crowns Swagger off the apron. Goldust whip in, reversed by Cesaro. Cesaro reversed back in, sends him chest first into the buckle. He charges in, catches the back elbow. He springs off the middle turnbuckle into a 180 flying body press. Sandow makes a save before Cesaro eats the pin. So Cody with a missile drop kick. And beautiful disaster on Jack Swagger. AA on Jack Swagger. Swagger's getting all the business tonight. So you're welcome on John Cena. Takes him out. Cody boots Sandow. Knocks him out of the ring. So Cesaro and Goldust are the legal men. Cesaro goes for the giant swing. And Goldust's momentum carries him all the way to the floor. So he tosses him back in. He gets up in Cesaro's face. Does John Cena. Cena whips Cesaro into Zeb Coulter at ringside. And then tosses him back in. Just enough for Goldust to go for the Bulldog, and he does the same thing he did on SmackDown, into a swinging Bulldog, using the feet to kick into the face of Jack Swagger, knocking him off the apron again. Swinging Bulldog, and of course, Sandow makes a save before the 3 count. So Cody with a standing moonsault off the top rope, and John Cena flying body press off the opposite corner on Cesaro. Cesaro walks into the final cut from Goldust, 1, 2, 3, and the Rhodes Warriors and John Cena win this match. So, an amazing 6-man tag between these 6 competitors. I'll tell you right now, the tag team division in WWE is heating up week after week. And these 6-man tag matches, even if the Shield is not involved, or if the Wyatt family's not involved, these are amazing contests. And they've become must-watch television for the first hour of programs. And even it was the main event on SmackDown this past week. So yeah, excellent match. And Sandow and Cesaro and Swagger definitely still getting over in this. Like I said, we have begun to see the evolution of Damian Sandow into the main event picture. It's starting now. Mark my words. And just like I've said so many times in the past, Antonio Cesaro will be a main eventer and will be world champion within the next 3 years. I know what you're saying. I added another year every year. Just to be safe. 3 years. Cesaro is a world champion. So this takes us into another non-title match. The return of Curtis Axel apparently didn't blow both hips because the internet lied, like sometimes they do, and he's facing off against Dolph Ziggler. So this match actually wasn't bad. A good mid-card match. You'd probably see at a house show. Or a decent TV match. So Axel gets nailed with a drop kick, 1-2, and a kick out. So he charges in. Ziggler lands on the ropes, and just like on Raw last night, sorry, long day, my SmackDown recap last night, there you go, Axel pulls him off the ropes, powerbombs him basically out of the corner. So he drives the elbow 3 times on Dolph, and he chokes him on the middle rope. He picks up Dolph, he pushes him into the ropes, nails the standing dropkick, 1-2, and a kick out. So he puts the knee in the lower back, locking on a chin lock, and he turns it into a regular chin lock. Dolph ends up breaking it with a jawbreaker, just like he always does. He charges in, he goes shoulder first into the ring post. Ziggler with a charging splash in the corner. 10 punch of the Intercontinental Champion, the reverse neck breaker out of the corner, leaping elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for the name dropper. He ducks down, and he ducks the clothesline. Of course, you should know by now, you don't duck clotheslines on Curtis Axel, because Axel comes back with a club to the back of the neck, makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So Axel goes for a power bomb, and basically Ziggler fights his way out, and it counters him with sunset flip, countered around, name dropper, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes to the back to go for like a sleeper hold, or maybe going for the zigzag, and it gets swatted off like a common housefly. Axel goes for the hatchet, gets turned around, zigzag, 1-2-3. So, nice hot finishing sequence for this match. Curtis Axel can't buy a win right now. And this does not bode well for the fact that he is defending the Intercontinental Championship against Big E Langston on main event this week. So, I would say right now that Axel's days as Intercontinental Champion are about over. I mean, Heyman's not there, and people are completely just getting off the Axel bandwagon. And they just pretty much giving up on him. So basically what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if you put the title on Langston on a main event. This is more of a SmackDown match. I don't know why they would relegate it to main event and not let it just happen on SmackDown. SmackDown this week is going to be Luke Harper and Daniel Bryan. I'm really excited about that match because obviously, if you go back to Chikara's King of Trios tournament, they actually did face off many, many years ago in a 6-man tag. So that was interesting. I know they've had singles matches before, but I cannot find footage of them. So if they exist, then they're not online. At least I haven't really. I just kind of looked for like a second, so that's all I could find. So yeah. Dolph needed the win. Axel continues the jobbing streak, and you would think he'd find a way to hold on to the Intercontinental Championship on main event, and this would lead to a rematch on maybe Survivor Series. You want to go that far? Or you even do it on a Raw or SmackDown. I don't think that a main event would be where the title changes hands, but I've been proven wrong before, and the Intercontinental title, as much as I hate to say, is so unimportant in WWE nowadays that it doesn't really matter, and Langston could win the championship, and it'd be good for the title, and it'd be good for Langston to have a title, but when it comes down to it, it's kind of like, yeah, it's just the Intercontinental title. I know if this was the 90s, I can't say that because it'd be the secondary championship, but yeah, unfortunately it's not. So, our next match, we're treated to yet another Usos and 3MB matchup. You know what? I've called this match so many times, I don't care anymore. Slingshot suplex on Jimmy Uso, 1-2, and a kick out. So Heath whip in and tags in Drew McIntyre. He gets caught, and like a modified F5 from Drew McIntyre, 1-2, and a kick out. Jay makes the save. Tagging to Slater, and McIntyre with a big boot. He ducks under. High calf kick on Jimmy Uso, and he goes up top, gets caught with a standing side kick. Tagging to Jay, Samoan Splash, 1-2-3. Okay, I do not care about this match anymore. I do not want to see 3MB and the Usos anymore. I mean, I understand you're pushing the Usos, I get that. I understand three-man band are basically your jobber to the stars team. I understand you don't really have a very deep tag team division. Even though you're pushing them, you don't have a very deep tag team division yet. But I mean, I don't see this match anymore. I'm almost to the point I'm not going to call this match anymore. Speaking of clusters, our next match is actually, in actuality, our semi-main. It is another 6-Diva tag team match. Eva Marie in ring with Nikki and Brie Bella taking on Oksana, which, yeah, you know how much I hate Oksana, AJ Lee, and Tamina. So, yeah, this match, yeah. The least said about this, the better. Tamina with a Samoan drop on Nikki, makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out, tags on Oksana. And basically, her part in this match is to kick her in the ribs twice and tag into AJ. So AJ comes in, front face lock, turned around in the guillotine choke, and she gets tossed off, tagging into Tamina. She cuts Nikki off, and the coconut butt and shoulder block, sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. So she charges, does Tamina, and Nikki drops her on the middle rope, and Brie tagged in, kicks AJ off the apron. Clothesline, drop kick, middle rope missile drop kick, 1-2 and a kick out. So whip in, charges in, back elbow. Eva Marie inadvertently gets clotheslined, not inadvertently, but gets clotheslined off the apron by Tamina. And this allows her to go up top of the Superfly Splash. She misses. Eva tags herself in, rolls up Tamina, 1-2-3. Yeah, okay. Dissension in the ranks between the Total Divas is teased, but not really, because after the match was over, they all seemed happy that they won. It didn't really matter. So a win for Eva Marie, and we still haven't seen JoJo in ring yet, or even doing anything at ringside yet. So you have to wonder, is JoJo's days with the company numbered, and what will she be in this season of Total Divas? I know a lot of people were saying that she was starting to date Randy Orton. That is a bad idea, obviously. But when it comes down to it, who knows? I mean, maybe she can't wrestle. I mean, anything's possible. But then again, Alicia Fox can't wrestle when she's on television. So, there you go. I bag on Alicia Fox all the time. She blows spots, okay? That's how it works. But it happens sometimes, okay? There you go. So, we get to our next match, which is after this. So, all night, they're talking about this lawsuit between the Big Show and WWE. I don't care. I legit don't care about this program, honestly. I don't care about Big Show and Randy Orton. I'm really not going to talk about it very much. Unless something big happens, I'm not going to mention it. So the big thing is the final promo. Big Show comes out. So what's best for business? Agree to settle. Triple H says, how much do you want? How much is going to be? How many zeros do you need to sell your dignity again? So Big Show says, it's not about my money problems. It's about me being back in the WWE. He just simply wants his job back. So Stephanie gives Big Show his wish, and gives him his job back. So Big Show's like, I want a bonus to make this lawsuit go away. And Triple H is basically, and Stephanie is like, yeah, okay, whatever. So he wants something new, something he's never had in the 18 years he's been with the company. He wants to be the face of the WWE. So the Shield come out because the sound cue messed it up. And, of course, we cut to commercial break, which completely throws off everything. And I'm sure someone got fired on that case. Big Show says, I want and deserve a WWE title opportunity against Randy Orton in Survivor Series. And basically, Triple H is like, you know what? You got your job back. You should be lucky at that. Why don't you just get the hell out of my ring? And Big Show decides, heads up the ramp. Is like, okay, I'll just call my lawyers and I'll own the company tomorrow. Bye. So he goes, wait, you got your match Survivor Series. So Big Show gets in the ring. And he's like, say it to my face. And he does so. And he's like, well, since you work for me now, just like everyone else in this locker room, you have to pull your weight and you have to compete tonight. So you're going to have a handicap match against some of my friends. And it ends up being the Shield and Randy Orton. So we get back to commercial. And, well, not really commercial, but then we get into the ring and they surround the Big Show. So Roman Spears showed in all the clustery, and they have a three-man beatdown. They tear off the Big Show's shirt. The Shield pick up the Big Show, and that ends up kicking Roman right in the face. So he chokeslams Roman Reigns. Rollins and Ambrose with a double suplex. It gets blocked. They get double suplexed. Kane's music hits. And who comes running out? Senator Glenn Canaanitis. Yes. Corporate Kane, Glenn Jacobs, coming to the ring, dressed in a suit and tie. And it basically is there for a distraction because it doesn't do anything. This allows Orton to go for the RKO. He gets tossed off. He goozles Orton, and Ambrose clips the knee, and this allows for Rollins to come off the top with the knee strike. And Big Show comes down. They call for the chairs. They throw a bunch of chairs in the ring. So they hit repeated chair shots to every single inch of the Big Show's body. They pull the Big Show out of the ring, and they end up getting ready to finish him off. Triple H directing traffic, of course. This allows for the Big Show to be victimized by the steel steps from Roman Reigns. Dissension in the Shield, not tonight. And they end up triple powerbombing the Big Show through the announce table. So that's the end of the show. Okay. Is it what's best for business for Big Show to have this spot instead of Daniel Bryan? No. No, not at all. Unfortunately, as much as I love Daniel Bryan, apparently didn't draw enough money, didn't make enough bank for the company for him to stay on top, which is crap, but I mean, I guess it's how business works. They think that just going to Triple H and the Big Show and John Cena and Randy Orton like it's the 2000s again, like the early 2000s again, I would say that that's what they're trying to do. I don't care. I legitimately don't care. I don't care about Randy Orton and the Big Show. I do not want to see this match. If this leads to Triple H winning the WWE Championship, I would not be surprised. If this leads to Triple H against Bryan at WrestleMania, with Bryan winning the championship finally, I really wouldn't be surprised. If this leads to Bryan and Shawn Michaels somewhere down the line, I wouldn't be surprised either, because both would probably take it in a heartbeat. Very wishy-washy show tonight. Like I said, I really do not care one iota about this storyline, and I don't care about what's best for business against everyone else. So yeah, I don't care about the Big Show taking a Daniel Bryan spot. I don't like that. As a wrestling fan, not as somebody who's been in the wrestling business, I'm talking about somebody as a wrestling fan. I do not like this. I do not care about this. Big Show is relevant again, which I'm sure is good, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he's hilarious on the mic, and he's okay in the ring, but I mean, when it comes down to it, this isn't the right thing to do. But then again, who's going to say anything else? Vince was supposed to come in and get the job back for the Big Show, which this is kind of pushed back. I don't know what this brings in Vince somehow. There's a way to do it, but it's just kind of like, yeah, it was all right show. I mean, check out the Six-Man. Six-Man was awesome. I like the fact that they're going to be the Wyatt family feuding against Bryan and Punk. That's going to be awesome. And I'm really looking forward to Harper and Bryan on SmackDown this week. We'll talk about that on Saturday. So yeah, it was an okay show. Yeah. So in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. We're over 17,000 views strong with over 150 subscribers and counting and rising every single day. If you want to help be a part of the Popcaster revolution and send me your thoughts, comments, opinions, and even videos if you'd like to SuroandDisney@gmail.com. My email address right there, or you can tweet me if you want to follow me on Twitter. It's @SuroandDisney, or you can send me a nice friend request on Facebook. I'll accept it. Owen Disney. Very simple and easy to find. Wrestling fans, we'll talk again tomorrow for Impact. We'll talk Thursday for Impact. We'll talk Saturday for NXT and SmackDown. Halloween Horror Nights fanatics can join me on Friday and Sunday. Excuse me, Friday and Sunday. Did not mean to do that. I apologize. And you know what? I'm going to upload this video, and I'm going to play me some 2K14. So, in the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.